Today we're going to see what we can get rid of. And let's see if we can come up with a stop doing or a don't do list. I think that's much more appealing than a to-do list. So start out by taking some time to write a list of all the things that you do often in each part of your life. It might seem like a daunting list, but it's worthwhile writing it down on paper. And once you've done this, put a star next to the things that you must do, and only you. And then circle the ones that actually don't really have to be you. Now you'll notice that some of them end up with a star and a circle, and that just means that somebody else could maybe do part of that task, but you'll also have to do part of it. So start finding people to take some of those tasks away from you. You're most likely to find that the tasks that you have to do are the ones that earn you the income. So if you could spend more time doing those and less time doing the other things, you'll make a lot more progress more quickly. You might have to pay someone to do some of these things. And if every few months you went through this exercise, you're going to find that you're progressively letting go of the things that bog you down. Now, don't make the mistake of thinking that you have to make more money before you can pay someone. It just doesn't work like that. You pay someone first, and then you make sure that you use the time that you've freed up as well as you possibly can. So if you have to pay someone to do housework or the ironing, and that frees up 3 hours of your time in a week, you need to make sure that you spend that 3 hours doing income-generating activities, which could be recruiting interviews, calling customers, or host coaching. Make sure you're earning more per hour than what you're paying someone. Don't fall into the trap of doing all your housework and ironing, and then as a result not having the time or energy to call your customers. It's about priorities. You have to call your customers. You don't have to do the ironing. When you're looking at some jobs that have to be done around the home or with the family, try and think outside the square a little bit. Can you share with a friend taking turns picking children up from school and looking after them? Can you get a teenager or your partner to cook once a week? Delegation's a really important skill to develop and one that's really difficult for many of us to do. We need to make sure that we do it well or it doesn't work. When we're delegating, we have to remember that it's a two-way street. Delegation develops us just as well as the person that's being delegated to. It helps people take more responsibility, lets them feel part of things, and that could be in your family or your business life. When you delegate, you show people you trust them, that you believe in them, and that they're important. It also reduces your work and your load. We need to remember that our way is not the only way, and we need to learn to let go. We can't control everything, and it's the results that you're after. If it's not done perfectly, but it's done well enough, leave it. Redoing it's going to discourage the person and make them not want to help anymore. It's difficult for lots of us to let go of some control, but I think we all know that it works in our favour in the long run. So start with baby steps if you need to. And make sure when you delegate that you're very, very clear. If people don't know exactly what they're supposed to do, they will do something else. And I've learnt this the hard way. Any disasters with me have almost always been because I wasn't clear enough about what I wanted and why I wanted it. And this is another way that we can grow by delegating. So delegating helps us become leaders and is a positive thing for the people who are helping us. We can delegate to our children, to our team members, to our partners, to a part-time helper. Some of these people will be paid and some don't need to be paid. So who can you delegate to and what can you delegate? As we're developing our stop doing list, we also need to think of ways that we can change things so that we can become more efficient, so that if we are doing something, we don't take so long to do it. So have another look at the list that you made earlier. What are the things that you have to do? Can you change in the way that you're doing them? So we talked about some of these things when we discussed growing our business to be 3 or 5 times bigger in the first course. And you've probably put some of these things in place already. So let's just have a look at some of them again. Menu planning and supermarket shopping online. Those two things combined can save you hours in a week. Think about how you use technology. Is there anything else available that you could use? There are so many tools available now, online and on our phones even, that this would be a fantastic thing to share with everybody in the cafe. The more we can share, the more we can help each other out. Anything that you do repeatedly can often be automated. So if you find yourself doing something over and over again, see if there's a way of automating it. MailChimp can be used for newsletters. Google Calendar is a great thing to use, especially if you've got a team. You can put all your parties in there and all your meeting dates. All of the team can have access to your calendar. With your parties in your calendar, your team can have a look at it and choose a party to come out and observe and learn from as well. In the calendar, you can also put important cut-off dates, cut-off times. There's all sorts of things you can do. So the Google Calendar can make a big difference. One central place, everyone can log in and see things. They don't have to keep on asking you what's going on. Maybe an appointment scheduler so people can make appointments with you. If you have a team and you're wanting them to book in for certain things, they can do that in the scheduler online, which can automatically be set up to go to your smartphone, so you haven't had to do a thing and you've just got these appointments scheduled. So there's a lot of things that you can use for a lot of different reasons. So do you use technology to its best use? What else can you find? Some way of keeping track of your hostesses or your customers. With the software and the technology that you already have you taken the time to learn how to use the functions that you need and to find out what functions there are? We actually waste an awful lot of time because we don't know how to use the software that we have properly. So being able to put in a little bit of time to actually learn something can save you massive amount in the long run as well. As you're looking at becoming more efficient, think about how you keep things like your customer service records and things to do with your office administration. How can you do it better? Do you really have to do this at all? Could somebody else do it? Make sure you keep asking yourself that as you look at all the jobs that you have on your list. And remember that our aim is to have a long don't do list and a more effective to-do list. Anything that you think of, put it in the cafe to share so that other people can add those things to their don't do lists or do less of lists as well. And let's see how much time we can free up. Think about some of your habits that you could change. Next time you get frustrated about something for the 100th time, think about how can I change this? For example, the stress of looking for your keys as you fly out the door late to a party or a meeting, or tearing out the door to a party and realizing you don't have the latest promotion or enough host packs. How can you make that better? There's a really good link to an article that I've put in the cafe about making system changes and how that can lead to incredible changes in your day.